Hey y'all, it's Lucy again with another craft that I'm doing kind of as extra in the Great Halloween Spooktacular. And today, this is a craft I made a few years ago, but I thought you might enjoy it. It's my miniature haunted clock. It's a coffin clock. It's in the shape of a coffin, and the pattern includes, like, let me show you up close, the 13-hour clock as a part of the PDF. So be sure to look at the PDF if you want that. But I also made it so you can get these little clock inserts, and you can actually make a clock that works. And I had a clock, but I did something with it. I don't know. I had a clock that had a real clock insert, but I'll show you how. And this is on my website. This isn't a part of the Spooktacular tickets. This is on the regular paper, glitter, glue website. And I put it on the front page so you could see it. So it's on the regular website, not the schedule page. And I believe it's design number 120, free design in my website, paperglitterglue.com. So if you've subscribed to the Spooktacular, you probably get my emails, which have the password to the library at the very bottom. So, okay, so I can show you how to make this. And this version I used some coffee stirrers, and I went to see which ones I used, but I bought like 3 different kinds, and these are too thick. I got really, really cheap ones, and they actually cut with my Cricut. Truthfully, though, I think it's easier to cut them on your own rather than with your Cricut. I just think it's simpler if you do that. But you could also do cardboard for strips to make it look kind of distressed, or cardstock, like wood grain cardstock from, my sponsor, 12 by 12 Cardstock Shop. And then it'd look like a really neat old clock, like an ancient clock. And I see a lot of people here: Sonia, Kathy, Annika, I hope I said your name right, Carolyn, Barbara Rogers, Delvane, Martha. So I really appreciate all of you guys here, and I hope you'll enjoy this craft. So first, you get the pattern, cut it out. I use cardboard. I really do think if you're going to try to support this clock, and the clock is lightweight, but if you're going to support it, I really think you use cardboard. And in my instructions, I use 30-point cardboard, but I'm kind of switching to a slightly lighter cardboard because it cuts a little easier with my Cricut. So either one will work, and I'll show you one cool thing about it. Oh, and the little tiny clock comes with this funky little tab, which I always have underneath the knob where you change the time. Has this little tab, and I never had the fingernails to remove it, but remove that eeny-weeny plastic tab before you put your clock in. But I'll show you the cool thing about it. All right, I'm just going to pop it in. Maybe. There we go. It's got like these little, it's made for wood, but it fits easily. But the other thing is I put a hole on the back, so even if your clock is completed, you can put your thumbs through and pop it out and change the battery. So that's the design. Okay, let me show you. And there are 2 designs. This one has just a plain front, and that's what I did with this version. And the other version has a cutout section so you can hang a charm or something that looks like a pendulum in it. And that's the one we're going to make today. All right, I usually paint. First you cut it out, fold along the score lines, and basically you're going to make it just like we make a house. Oh, I just looked aside and I see Elaine Nash, first-time watcher from England. Welcome. Mariel. And so I forgot what I was saying. Fold along all the score lines, and the structure is very similar to making a house. So here we go. We're folding. Now, if you're going to use the version with the inset, this is the way the inset looks on the back, and it's just a strip of cardstock that is slightly larger than the opening, and it's got a hole at the top. Okay, now I'm going to switch to my, oh, wait. I want to show you this first. I'm sorry. I was just talking to someone about ADHD, and I'm like, people tell me I have that. I'm like, I never thought I did, but now I do. Okay, let me show you. Oh, this is the dollhouse I made it for. And the dollhouse I linked in the video too, and here's the back. Isn't that fun? And you know, cardboard, just my favorite. There we go, dumping things, cardboard. Okay, now I'm going to move this out of the way and all the things I just dropped. And I'm going to switch to my overhead camera. And see. Okay, so now you can see. The clock face, somebody asked about the clock face. So the printed clock face, the 13-hour clock, this clock face is in the PDF files included with the clock pattern. So you get the 13-hour clock that's sized for this opening. And like I said, I linked for the dollhouse in the description of this video. All right, so first we folded it, I painted it, and this is kind of what I would call, and I need to paint it, you know, fix a little bit. I'll do some black streaks along the edges once it's completed. But this is painted with a wood grain technique, and I'm going to show you different ways to do wood grains in another video. So basically it's just layers of color with this kind of streaky brush. You know, my brushes are all ancient, so they make this kind of variegated effect really well. So you paint it. Be sure to paint, if you're doing the open version, be sure to paint the back a dark color because it's going to show through. So just, you don't have to paint the whole thing, but just at least so this square that shows through is black. And again, before you assemble it, glue this little strip in place with the hole at the top. Now I'm going to try to show you sort of my way of adding, how to add it. I got this little Tim Holtz charm, and it's just on a regular chain. And I put a jump ring here to connect the charm to my chain because it swings better if you have the jump ring there. It doesn't, you know, it doesn't twist the wrong way as easily. Okay, so now I'm going to kind of measure. First I have to get it through the hole. Kind of measure where I want it to hang. Okay. So now I'm going to add a jump ring there to prevent it from going through the hole. These are jump rings. And if you really want to know how to do these things right, my friend Amy Romeo, you know, it's like earring queen, faux leather earring queen. And she looks so much more coordinated when she does these things than I do. And you're supposed to, instead of opening the ring by opening it this way, you're supposed to twist it because the metal doesn't fatigue nearly as much. Okay, so I've got it open. I'm going to thread it, hopefully. Actually, this ring may be too big. Yeah, I don't think it's going to go through the holes. Okay, so we can always improvise. This is what we're going to do. I have some smaller rings downstairs, but I thought this would work, but it's really too big. So I am just going to tape it in place while we construct. And then I'll there. Let's see. Okay. I think the cat is too high. It's a little cat head. Oh, it's owl. I'm sorry. It's owl. Okay. Yeah, I can redo it. I can redo it through this hole. So when I go back, I can fix it. So I've just taped it temporarily. And I noticed that it's hanging crooked, hanging backwards. So I'm going to see if I can rotate the chain so that it hangs right. Let's see. Sometimes the little charms are a challenge. I'm going to pretend it's hanging right for your sake so you don't have to wait for a long time. Okay, now we just glue it together. And like I said, I do it just like I do the little houses, the little buildings. And I see people are saying they're making them. Somebody made 4 in a week. And on the last day, I'm going to show you some doll houses. I've got several versions. I've got some that are really easy to make with kids. This one's pretty involved. You can make it with kids, but it'd be, you know, a longer project. Okay, so I'm gluing the side tab in place. And what's the most important thing about the side tab is that you line up the side tab with the bottom. And this cardboard is kind of thick. Painter's tape to the rescue. I don't go anywhere without my painter's tape. My crafting painter's tape. And I'm going to have to kind of patch that where I've folded it along the score lines. The paint kind of opened up. And I'm going to put another piece at the top. So I'm going to kind of repaint that corner, so don't worry about it. And then there are tabs. The tabs on the front are designed to give you a little more glue surface, so you can glue these angled parts down. So let's glue those, just like, kind of like I do roof flaps and roof tabs on my houses, only in this case, the flap goes on the outside. Because you don't want the tabs to show, and we're not doing an over roof. That's what I usually do on my houses, over roofs. I remembered to get wet paper towels nearby. And we're going to need, these are kind of a tight angle, so painter's tape again. I think a pendulum would look really good, or a little bat flying around within the clock would look good. And now we're going to glue the top flap down. I'm going to go ahead and get my tape ready because I know I'm going to need it. And that's our little clock already done. Now the only thing is, this clock, because it's kind of tall and thin, it needs a base, especially if you're going to put something heavy on the front, it'll tip over. So I made kind of a layered base. These are all the same size, but I mean shape, they're the same shape but in different sizes. So basically apply glue to the bottom of your clock. Get another piece of tape while things are drying. So if you're going to make, oh, and I linked in my website for the little clock insert on Amazon. My cats are being bad. Bill. Bill. That's Bill. I don't know why he attacks the other cats. I try to keep him downstairs when I'm videoing because he's kind of rude that way. Yeah, I'm going to have to intervene. Okay, so I'm going to sit this down and let it adhere a little bit. Let me line it up. I like the back to be flat in case you want it to go against a wall, meaning I line up the back of the base with the back of the house so it's a straight line so you can apply your you can place your little clock right against the wall. Okay, while that's drying, it'll take me just a second. I'm going to go put Bill away. I have to step over my cables. Bill. I'm coming back. I'm coming back. Hey y'all, it's me again. Okay, so here's the base, and the house is adhered to the base, and like I said, I line it up in the back. Now I've made a mess. When I do it on video, I'm often messier, even messier than in person, because I'm trying to hurry. And I'm just going to leave it. Actually, I'm going to do the tape thing again, only because I want to show it to you. I used a thicker glue for this one. I used the Aleene's Quick Dry Tacky Glue. And I'm going to, okay, that's almost completed. And I'm going to show you on another one I've got done. So I'm putting this one aside since it's like drying. So this is the plain front version, not the one with the insert. This is a plain front version. And once it's all glued and dried and secure, that's when you put the little clock in. This little clock insert is like 3 years old, so I think its battery ran out a long time ago, even though I had the little tab in place. I just popped it in. But remember, I made this big hole on the back, so if you have to, you can just pop it out so you can change the batteries. Okay, let me see. I think that's it. I needed small, for that little tiny chain I use, I need a smaller jump ring. I'll fix that. And we're teaching wood grain a little bit later. We'll do a wood grain video a little bit later. Remember to glue the base on and line it up with the back. And I think that's it. I think that's how you make the little clock. If you do decide to make the one with the strips, get really, really cheap, thin wood coffee stirrer sticks. And I linked to the brand I used that I found worked better. Not the thick, pretty coffee stirrers, but kind of the splintery coffee stirrers. Or do cardboard, just like we did wood siding on some of our houses. Okay, does anybody have any questions? Yes, this would be a good gift for somebody. It would be a good, because I made a bunch of prototypes. I always make a bunch of prototypes while I'm kind of as you can see, when I'm kind of perfecting a design. And I give away about 3 or 4 of them. Okay, all right, so now I'm going to switch to my face front camera, I think. I have to click the right button and click done. I always forget done. Okay, there you go. And so here, let me show you my dollhouse again. I stenciled some stone for the base, and then you know I love these Tim Holtz things. So these are like little urns, and they're available this year. He still has those. And look, isn't that cute? That's perfect. And then I made this, but I'm not real happy with how to do it. I made a little, I don't know how to say it, chaise lounge. but it's really hard to get the fabric down without, I kept messing it up. And then I made again, I haven't shown you this, but I haven't published this, is a batwing bed. I thought that was fun, but I've never published that. But this one is there. It is the little cat bench. I just thought that was fun too. So if you want a little cat bench, that is on the website. I didn't link to it, but I could add it in the description. And then in the back, so I made 2 stories and a little fireplace. So, but we'll talk a little bit more about doll houses a little bit later. Just on the last day, I'm going to kind of show you what else, like if you really want to keep things going, some stuff that's still available, you know, other things, because I've been doing this. My website's been live for 6 years, and Halloween's been one of my favorites for a long time. So I have a ton of Halloween crafts for you. Okay, I want to thank 12 by 12 Cardstock Shop, and you could use some of their wood grain paper. It's beautiful. And I will see you tomorrow. I don't know what we're doing tomorrow. We're setting the schedule for the rest of the next, is it 9 days? I think this is day number 11. So the next 9 days, and we'll put it in the email each day. So just check there, and you can see what the live is going to be. Okay, bye y'all.